Sally Stanton, and welcome to Snacks and Suitcases, the podcast packed with tips, tricks, and real-life stories to make travelling with kids of all ages a whole lot easier and way more fun. And today, we're escaping into the wild.
Mom, can I pack all my teddies?
Okay, let's get started. There's a travel trend taking off right now that might just change the way your family holidays. It's called green tourism, and it's all about travelling with a little more intention. Fewer emissions, less waste, and more connections to the places we visit. But don't worry, this isn't about roughing it. You can still have comfort, style, and yes, a little bit of luxury. Enter into the wild escapes. Beautifully designed, tiny eco cabins set in stunning locations all around Australia. Built to tread lightly on the planet while giving you that off-grid experience. And good news, they're kid-friendly. And even better news, parents, they're screen-free and Wi-Fi free. There's no reception. Today, I'm chatting with marketing manager Renee Kidd about why these off-grid escapes are booming and why so many families are embracing the chance to slow down and reconnect. Now, at the time of recording this chat, I hadn't actually experienced one myself, but I've since been with my family, so stay tuned to the very end for a field report. Renee, welcome to Snacks and Suitcases.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
You have a pretty cool gig marketing these luxury eco tiny houses. It must be a very rewarding job.
It is so rewarding and it is a dream job. I love travel. I love anything to do with the environment, and putting them together and marketing them is a dream job. And it's also an easy job to market because everybody loves them.
How could you not?
It is. I mean, even when you think about influencers and content creators, they beg us to go. So in that terms, it's a very easy job. But I will add in, we're a small growing business as well with over 60 tiny homes. So behind the scenes, we're very, very busy because we're a small team. But it is very rewarding. And I genuinely believe in what we do, which makes it so much easier to market.
Before you got the gig, were you already passionate about ecotourism?
Definitely. And I think it's becoming more and more people are becoming more and more aware of it. So I was always passionate about sustainability and the environment. I lived in Byron for 9 years, so how can you not? And now that people are more aware about how they travel and, you know, having a lower footprint, it's just so amazing to see these sustainable travel trends coming to life. So yeah, definitely. But always been like, I love travel. I've traveled everywhere. That's my number one passion, yeah.
You're the girl for the job then, the right girl for the gig.
Yep, I definitely am. And also nature. I love nature, but I love 5-star.
Oh.
So I'm not a camper.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Okay, so paint me a picture of these luxury tiny houses.
So they are on completely secluded properties. So the whole idea is that you are surrounded by nature. We have over 60 all over Australia. So completely different terrains. You know, one might have mountain ranges or another might have bush setting. You might be on a farm with animals, but you can't see another man-made object in sight. So the whole idea is that they're 2 to 3 hours from a capital city, so you don't have to go far.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Think of it like glamping, I would say. So you're in nature, but you've got all the luxuries of home. So they're off-grid, which means they're completely powered by the sun, solar panels, but you have electricity, heating, aircon. So you don't feel like you're off-grid. If you didn't know that, you would think you're on-grid.
Now, most importantly, they're family-friendly. Kids are welcome.
Oh, yeah. I mean, our founders, it was founded by 2 women who both have 3 kids. And it was because they wanted to get out of the city and, you know, go and experience the country. And they were really into tiny homes through COVID. And, you know, they were like, let's start this business. So it was built from people with families wanting to get out of the city. So our tiny homes, all of them have a queen bed by the window and a loft bed. And recently we've just created, we call them the family style tiny homes, and they sleep up to 6, and they've got an extra section in there with bunk beds. So they're slightly bigger and the families love them. Most of them have the outdoor decks and bathtubs and hot tubs, and some of them have, swingings and play equipment for the kids. All of them are at beautiful nature that the kids can just run around, and they're completely safe because you can just watch them, even from inside, because we've got the big windows.
Yeah.
So they're perfect for families.
And it's for any age of child, isn't it? Even babies are welcome, and it's child safe to an extent.
To an extent, you've got to watch them. You're in
Yeah.
nature.
Yeah, of course.
It's like having your own backyard. You go to a big resort and you're watching them with hundreds of other kids. Here, you're on your own with your kids. Some of them have horses roaming around and things like that. So it's a completely different experience. Babies are more than welcome. People just bring their own little cots with them. Our founder, as I say, she's got 3 kids. She took her newborns. I would suggest not taking a newborn in the dead of winter, just because it'll make it a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But she did. I mean, people go camping with kids, don't they? So think of this like a step up from that.
You said before glamping, but I even think it's a step up from glamping. Glamping often doesn't have a shower and a toilet in the tent. You've got to walk in the freezing cold to a shower block that's shared. Like, I'm always like, is it glamping or is it glamping,
$1,000,000%. I'm with you on this. And as I said, I love 5-star experiences and I love them. They're fully equipped with full bathroom, shower, toilet, full kitchen. We have premium products like, Leaf, the brand. That's the shampoo and conditioner and the body wash.
The toiletries.
Yeah, we've got Koala Eco products. We're all about giving back to local Australian businesses. So we try and have as much Australian brands in there as possible. We've got Wandering Folk. I don't know if you know them. They're a Byron brand and they do beautiful picnic rugs. They're in every single one of our tiny homes. So it's all those little premium touches. It's nothing like you don't have to walk anywhere. It's hot water. It's completely, you feel like you're in an on-grid home, honestly. The only difference is it's a composting toilet.
Oh, yes, the composting toilet. We have a question about that later on. But Renee, you have so generously invited me to stay in one of these tiny houses. I cannot wait, Renee. I'm very excited. So stick around to hear my field report on how I survive nature. I have a feeling my family and I, we're going to do just fine, but I cannot wait. So you've kind of already explained how it's eco-friendly, but it's all about reducing our carbon footprint, isn't it?
It's all about obviously solar, the composting toilets. There's a million things that we do to make them sustainable, but the ones people would know about are mostly those ones. And the big thing is probably a minimal footprint. So our tiny homes, the whole idea is that we put them on this land, and if we ever have to take them away, they're movable. There's no impact on the land. So we make as little impact as possible.
Now, you mentioned it's off-grid, and what goes hand in hand with off-grid is no phone reception. And I'm guessing no Wi-Fi?
Yes, that's correct. That's the whole idea. And once again, everyone's scared by that. But that is what we're all about. The whole idea is that you leave all of those things behind. And it's very hard to articulate this until you've experienced yourself. But when you get there, you don't have Wi-Fi. The kids won't have their iPads. You won't be checking your TikTok. At the start, it can be a little bit like, oh, what do I do? I swear, after an hour, you don't know why you even need a phone. The feeling you get when you're not constantly looking things on your phone, the kids aren't fighting over the iPad, is such a beautiful experience. And that's what we're all about. It's all about switching off. There's scientific evidence about the healing benefits of nature. That's what we're about. You get those healing benefits. In 2-night stay, it's equivalent to like a 3-week holiday for how you feel without being on your phone. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I need this so bad.
And it's really hard to articulate And a lot of people are scared, but honestly, the feedback we get is that they were scared, they got there, they eased into it. There's something that happens, as an adult, if you're not looking at your phone, the kids aren't looking at their phone, the connection, it's completely different. Like you do connect. Everyone's more relaxed. It just creates such a nice environment to relax in.
Do you think people go into these holidays and book them knowing it's off-grid, we don't have to connect, we don't have to use our phones or Wi-Fi for 2 nights, it's gone, and they want to do that, or they turn up going, what? I have no bars on my phone?
I would say we're very lucky. We've got a very strong brand, and 98% of our bookings are direct through our website. So they're very aware of what we're about.
Yeah.
We are on Airbnb and booking.com and things like that. And you do get a few people that book just because they want to be in that location, and then they get there and they're a bit, oh, what am I doing? But I will say when you book, we've got to send a lot of emails describing what off-grid is all about. When you get there, this is what to expect. This is what to bring. There's a lot of communication. I will say a lot of people don't read their emails, which they're the ones that slip through.
They're too busy doing other things on their phones.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And we also have guidebooks within our tiny homes. So when you get there, and the first page is how to live off-grid, what to expect. So hopefully there's enough communication, but there's not many that are completely surprised because we let them know beforehand.
Yeah.
And they're going because they want that. I mean, it's becoming more and more popular to have these type of holidays.
Absolutely. I mean, parents more than ever, we want our kids off their screens. I'm one of those mums. I'm guilty of letting my daughter just use her screen. Sometimes you give them more screen time than they're allowed, but more than ever we want this. But sometimes the parents, they find it harder than the kids.
I definitely think that. I mean, I've stayed in many tiny homes, and I'm human. I found it hard the first time I went. I did. As I say, I think for the first hour, you're like, oh, what do I do? And then I picked up a book. And, you never get time to read a book, do you?
Never. Oh, never.
And I poured a wine and I was like, whoa, okay, this is what it's about. And you just relax into it.
Gosh, I remember as a kid. So, when I was a kid, there were no mobile phones. There's no such thing as the internet. And we really did rough it. That's why I think nowadays I like a bit of luxury. We used to camp on a property where we had to dig a hole to go to the toilet.
Wow.
Yeah, it was full on. I know. Sorry for saying toilet. I know there are listeners from America who don't like saying the T word, but we do here, don't we? We just say toilet.
It's normal for us.
It's normal for us. We'd dig a hole. But I remember one time my mum's Japanese and would go back to Japan a lot, and she brought back a mini television. It was a liquid crystal display television. It was so cool, just a little square, and we would have the aerial up. We thought it was so cool. I think it plugged into the car, or maybe it had batteries, but we'd be there in the middle of nowhere trying to watch this tiny TV. I don't think we probably got SBS News or something, but as kids we weren't interested in. But we really did rough it back then. And that TV we were so grateful for, but didn't really watch it in the end. The kids didn't really care.
It's funny, and it's true, because I've taken my nieces to a tiny home, and I was a bit worried because I live in the city, so I take them, they want to go to Bondi, they want to go to shopping in the city or restaurants and things like that. And you go. And that hour of peace when they're on their iPads is just bliss. And, I was like, well, what do I do? We don't have that hour. But honestly, it's amazing how they create different things to do, and they chill out because they're not constantly trying to seek that next high on their iPad. So everyone just slows down. That's what we're about. And you don't need those things anymore.
Yeah, as a cool auntie, that is an official term. It kind of means you're the auntie that gives some things that parents won't.
Yes.
In what other ways did you see their dynamics change when you took them into the wild?
When we got there, I was like, what are we going to do? But honestly, they were so excited when they got there. Sage is more like they're excited about the loft bed. It's like a big cubby to them. They just get there.
Renee, you have no idea. My daughter is like, she actually has a loft bed at home, but it's different. on a holiday, bunk bed, loft bed, the eyes light up. That's all they want.
It's special for them because it is essentially like one room. So the parents are sleeping, most parents sleep in the queen bed by the window, and the kids are in the loft or the bunk beds. And it's like a big sleepover for them. Like they're so excited. Tiny Lola, where we went, has an outdoor deck and a bathtub. So Savvy was more excited about that. Because she's all into, I'm a teenager, even though she was 11. So, she does her nightly routine and, she hopped into the bath with her big headband on that all the influencers wear, and she just thought she was Queen Bee, had her lemonade in the wine glass,
I love
sitting
that.
next to the bath.
The tweens are basically teens these days.
Yeah. She tells me about skincare and that's it. I'm usually taking her to Mecca. That's what we do. So to go to a tiny home is such a different experience. And I would say, like, for me being the cool auntie, they're so used to me giving them everything that they want. Actually being with them and connecting and just doing fun things without the iPad or the phone or going shopping or, going to the movies was a completely different experience. And you get more cuddles than usual. You get more conversations. You hear like their little personalities come out because they're talking.
Yeah.
It's just such a different experience. I loved it.
Yes, they're talking. You're right.
Yeah.
When the screen's on, they're like zombies.
Yeah.
You cannot get their attention. You have to basically take it out of their hands and say, hello, I'm here. Yeah.
And they're doing things with you. So like, they want to cook with you. They want to, they bring some of their games, so you play the games, but you light the campfire together and get the marshmallows out. Like I got my wine out while they got their marshmallows out. But that's another really cool thing I would say is that everyone relaxes and you can do your own thing. It's not about running around a resort and, doing all the activities. And they also go to bed earlier because they're not on their phones and stuff. There's no TV.
Sold.
They're tired.
Going to bed earlier, yes.
They're tired. They run around in nature all day.
Well, they say, if you're out in the sun early in the day, first thing in the morning, you'll have a better sleep at night. It's all to do with melatonin production. And, these days kids don't do that. We're very rushed. They're off to school quickly. Sometimes they even go to before school care or they stay on their screen before they go to school. But that first sunlight, and I'm guessing with those huge, gorgeous windows, you're going to be bathed in sunlight.
Yeah, you wake up to sunrise and you go to bed at like when it gets dark. Circadian rhythm, right? You're following nature. It's without the phones and alarms and, all the devices, you are literally following the cycle of nature. And you're inside and you've got those big windows. You can see every single star, which I live in the city, you can't see that. And it's like the most special experience because you're inside, you're wrapped up in we've got French linen bedding, like you're wrapped up in your French linen bedding, just looking at the stars. And you're tired. You're in bed, you're asleep by 8:30.
You don't realize how beautiful stargazing is and how special that experience is until you live in the city I've nearly been here, over 20 years, and then you're back out there again in a bush setting. It's spectacular.
I stayed in one a few weeks ago and you forget. And I laid down and I was kind of like, I'll get my book out. And then I just looked up and I was on my own and I said out loud, wow, the stars are just amazing. And I just stared at them for hours.
I hear that this is one of the best years in Australia to stargaze because there's going to be some celestial movements, eclipses, meteor showers. I'm no expert, but I think it may be a really optimum time to see the southern lights. I don't know if you can see them from any of the tiny homes.
You can in Melbourne sometimes.
Wow. Aurora Australis. I think that's the southern lights.
I'm going to believe you on that. I'm going to have to look that up. That's probably something we should be marketing.
But well, winter is the time to stargaze because the sky's clearer. So
winter is our peak period. Everyone loves a tiny home in winter because they're cozy, they're small, you have the campfire going. It's such a cool experience. Some of our tiny homes even have snow. We've got one in Jindabyne.
I love Jindabyne. I lived there I lived in the snow for 3 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we've got one there. And you can literally see Thredbo and Perisher. from the tiny home. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, with 60 around the country, you're not short of amazing locations. Now, considering you are going in winter, are there any special things you need to pack? Are there things you should leave behind? Screens.
Screens, 1,000,000%. But I think packing for a tiny home is actually, you do have to think about it a bit. I mean, our tiny homes, we say we've got everything you need and nothing you don't, which is actually true. So in terms of, as I said before, we've got French linen bedding. The beds are so comfortable. There's extra blankets, there's hot water bottles and things like that. There's some games for the kids and books. There are things in there. There's a full kitchen. You don't have to bring anything to cook with. All of that's covered. I would say that layers are definitely what you need to bring for kids and yourself, because every time I've been in the colder months, not so much in summer, but you do have to rug up at night. So if you're out by the campfire, you want to feel warm. But then when the sun comes out, it's warm, always. So you need to strip off. So you've just got to bring layers, I would say.
I actually prefer hot sunny days in the middle of like in winter. I love a hot sunny winter day.
Well, you know what I love? I love when the sun's coming through a window and it makes you really warm inside, that feeling.
Oh, yes.
In the winter.
I can feel that. I can feel it now.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah. So that's when you're in a tiny home and you're literally, you can hear nature, you can see it with those big windows, but you're warm from that sun coming in. It's so nice.
I'm looking forward to that moment so much.
I love a tiny home in summer myself because I'm a summer girl.
See, I'm a winter girl. I love winter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I love being hot. But in saying that, I also love the tiny homes with the baths and the hot tubs so I can, be in water when I'm hot. Which that's the beauty of the bathtubs and the hot tubs. In summer, you just don't put the hot water in. So it's like a little mini pool. That's the whole idea.
And kids will love that too. I mean, it's such a novelty, isn't it, to have these mini hot tubs, cold tubs.
Oh, yeah.
A plunge. Cold tubs, yeah. Cold plunge. Is that what it is, a cold plunge?
Yeah. I started writing that on the website and I was like, well, that's a bit misleading. But that is the idea. They're hot when you want them to be or cool when you want them to be. So
that's so nice. That's so nice. In summer we went to New Zealand and we went to Rotorua where they have all the hot springs and it was too hot to enjoy it. We went to this one kind of family park. It had like water slides and everything, so my daughter could enjoy it too. But every single pool was hot. There wasn't one cool pool and we just couldn't enjoy ourselves. The coldest pool was 38 degrees Celsius.
I would love that, not going to lie.
It was so busy, so it was full of summer lovers.
Yeah.
For kids who are a little bit nervous about leaving their screens at home, do you have any tips to prepare them ahead of time?
Definitely. As I say, we do have some games in the tiny homes, but I would definitely recommend bringing games that the kids like. Where you are, there is a swing, just FYI. So she'll love that.
I love a swing.
And games inside. So cards, guess who was their favourite. Just a few things like that because, as I say, especially for the first hour, I would say just to ease into it. All of a sudden, they're just going between them. When you're not, most of the time during the day, you're going out doing nature walks and, chasing waterfalls and things like that. So it's really when you want to relax, instead of them having an iPad, they're colouring in. You just bring things to keep them entertained when, you don't want to speak for an hour.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine like you said, after the first hour, you turn around, they're probably climbing up a tree somewhere.
Exactly. It's that simple. They really are. They become so much more creative and imaginative when they don't have their screens and they find things to do. The other good things to do is Google nature play before you go. There's some great tools on there. There's like scavenger hunts that just using nature and just Google that before you go. Save it on your phone. Well, because you don't need the internet for that, and just bring that up.
That's a really good idea, Renee. And I've done that.
Yeah, there you go.
I needed some ideas, but getting dirty, let them get messy, play in the mud, make mud pies. If there's a little stream, my daughter loves doing that kind of play. Even when she was really little, just throwing things in the stream like leaves and rocks and watching things float down, chasing them, that kind of thing is priceless.
You've got a stream. behind the tiny home you're staying in. So you're lucky.
Oh, gosh, I chose well.
It's literally behind the swing. Yeah, it's beautiful there.
Gorgeous. Well, they have such cute names. The one I'm staying in is Tiny Madeline.
Yes.
I mean, that sounds beautiful alone. I would have chosen it for that name. How did you come up with the names?
They're named after books, every single tiny home.
I'm Madeline. Is it that Madeline,
I
the
can't
little
remember which
French girl?
Madeline it is, actually. I don't need to look it
You're
up.
thinking Sally's crazy.
There's
There's
over
a book
60
about
of them.
Madeline. The song I'm singing, there's a TV show about a little French girl in a boarding. I think she's an orphan, and her name's Madeline. She wears this little hat, and it came from a book. She's very famous, Renee.
Yeah, well, it probably is named after that, and I'm going to look silly not knowing which book Madeline's named after. But they're named after books. It's either a character or the author. We try and relate the books to the location, a lot of Australian type of books or First Nations. And we have those books in the tiny home. So when you stay, you can pick up the book. So when you go, you can see what book it is.
Yeah, I'll let you know. So in terms of the location, you were saying they're chosen so they're quite accessible from Sydney cities. I bet that helps with international visitors too.
They are becoming so popular, especially with the European, the Germans, the Dutch market, UK. They're a little bit more adventurous because, you can imagine some international markets like China, for instance, they're a little bit more cautious. They don't want to drive their own car around Australia. But the ones that are self-drive, they are so popular. I mean, when you go to these trade shows, everyone wants to come up and talk to you about the tiny homes because you are literally amongst nature with kangaroos popping past you while you're sitting there having a coffee. You can't get that anywhere else. I mean, you can't get that in a big hotel. So it's so popular with the international market. You see koalas and wombats and kangaroos literally at every tiny home. So very popular.
Oh, you're just painting this picture so well, Renee. I cannot wait to get there. Some of these tiny houses are actually located on or very close to animal sanctuaries. Is that right?
Yes. So Tiny Wallaby and Tiny Wombat are actually situated on the Hills Wildlife Sanctuary, which is only 40 minutes from Sydney. They're the family style, so they sleep 6. They've both got the outdoor hot tubs, absolutely stunning. The animal sanctuary, it is separated by a fence, so you don't have to worry about animals. You can add on the animal experience at the checkout. So you can get a behind-the-scenes tour of that animal sanctuary with the volunteers.
It's like VIP.
Yeah. You pat Baz the wombat. I mean, we actually did a Sydney Weekender there.
Yeah. If you want to watch this, you can see it on Sydney Weekender.
Yeah. Baz the wombat was on Sydney Weekender.
Baz. I saw it with Tegan, yes.
She loved Baz. There's kangaroos, there's birds, there's reptiles and dingoes.
Gosh.
And you literally are up close and also learning about what they do and how they take care of them. And, if they can, they go back out into nature. So it's not only, being up close and personal, it's literally learning about Australian wildlife, which is amazing. And you can't actually do it unless you've booked the tiny home stay. It's exclusive for our guests.
That is a no-brainer. If you're coming from overseas and you really want the quintessential Aussie experience, stay in nature and then get this exclusive tour.
Yeah, it's a big one for the international market.
That sounds really fun. Actually, I was thinking about that one.
Yeah, it's very popular if you've got children, that one. But in saying that, they all have animals around you anyway. That one's great if you want the tour. I mean, that tour is amazing. I was blown away when I did it because it's not like a zoo where you're standing on the other side of a fence. You're literally patting the animals, the ones you can and learning about them. And it's so personal and the kids love it.
That's a very special experience for sure. Now, what does a slow travel day look like when you're staying in one of these tiny houses?
So I'll explain what we did, and I think it's what most people do. It's waking up to sunlight without an alarm. It is so slow. It's a natural wake up. We provide St. Ali coffee. I'm a massive coffee drinker, so don't worry, St. Ali coffee in the tiny homes.
Coffee's very important to me. And once I was staying in a place where the phone reception was terrible and they had a coffee machine that I didn't know how to work. So I went, I'll just Google it. And then I couldn't because I had no reception. What do I do at tiny houses?
It's in the guidebook. It shows you how to use the mock-up. Yeah.
Oh, hallelujah. Because I do need my coffee.
Oh, me too. Everything we do is about doing things slower to slow you down. It's on purpose. So, you boil it's one of those iron kettles that you put on the stove. So, you boil that, then you put it in the mocha pot and, you wait for that to drip through and you go back to bed and you have your coffee. That's what I highly recommend. That's what I do. The kids come and cuddle up with you. It's amazing when there's no phones. All of a sudden, they're chilled, you're chilled, and that's what I said before about getting heaps more cuddles. Or they're up in their beds because they're so excited and they're just drawing and, reading their books. It's so peaceful. So very slow wake up. Lots of, while you've got the energy in the morning, I'm making breakfast too. So we have the inside stoves, we've got barbecues, and we've got all the utensils to cook on the campfire as well. I'm not that skilled, so I cooked on the barbecue. But, as I say, that's where the kids love helping you when you're doing everything, like slowly and together. So cook up a big feast. We've got the big wooden tables outside, so eating your breakfast outside. And then just doing nature things, once again, in the guidebooks. It'll give you day by day of what to do. If you need some tips, it'll have day 1, do this, day 2, day 3. And so for the first 2 days, it's like exploring the properties are big.
Yeah, okay.
So you can explore around the properties. Most of them have, water nearby or on the property. In your case, horses. Everyone's so uniquely different. So there are horses on yours as well. Yours is on a farm. There's also kangaroos, So it's all about just walking around, doing nature things, going to waterfalls. I would say the afternoon, you hop in the outdoor bath or hot tub. I like doing that when the sun goes down. But, when you've got kids, they want to be in it, which is fine. It's just there's all these little things, play the games, go outside and play the games. And before you know it, the sun's setting and you've built the campfire. Kids love building campfires and they've got their marshmallows and, as I said before, the wine.
Yeah, I'm actually going to have to Google before we go how to build a campfire.
I had to as well, but we provide fire starters and everything, so don't worry. It's actually very easy.
Good. I think my partner knows. He'll be embarrassed if I say he doesn't, so he knows.
I also included 2 bags of firewood for you, FYI.
Oh, thank you.
That's there when you're there. But there is fire starters and matches and stuff. Fire starters light it for you, so don't worry. You'll be fine.
I once did, and this was on Sydney Weekender, a Bear Grylls survival course for kids.
I used to work there. Yeah.
What? Oh my gosh.
In Renee.
Yes. It was at your minor.
At Ocean Beach.
Yeah. And
I did one at Ocean Beach and Darlington. Oh, that's really funny.
Also, and you still don't know. Okay, so I don't feel that bad then.
No, I was too busy wrangling the kids in those when we were filming those.
I remember they had these little metallic things that started the fire, basically. That's all I remember.
That's real Bear Grylls. They're really starting fires. That.
Right, okay.
We've got fire starters. You literally light it and it lights for you. It's not like Bear Grylls.
Into the Wild escapes are designed for people just like me and you, Renee. Okay, so we've had a lovely slow day. What's next on our itinerary?
Once again, you're going by how you feel and what the sun's doing. That's how you spend your day, and it's wherever it takes you. And it honestly is what it's about. It's pretty amazing.
Do you find people wanting to go off and explore the little communities and villages, or they're happy to just stay on site?
A bit of both. I would say we recommend not leaving the first day, just so you do sink into that feeling of slowing down. And then the second day, exploring nature around the property. And then on the third day, we do encourage going out into the communities and spending your money. All the beautiful little towns and cafes and breweries and, distilleries, all the towns have them these days. And we really do want people to experience those things. As I say, we want people to give back to those communities. So
yeah,
they do it tough out there.
That's all part of the kind of the green travel experience, isn't it? And philosophy.
We're very proud of the money that we can contribute back into those communities, there's always something going on. There's always a bushfire or a flood or a drought. Like, honestly, those farmers do it tough.
Sure do.
Our tiny homes, we lease the land off the landowners. So,
yeah, that was one of my questions. Are they on other people's property?
yeah, we own the tiny homes and we lease the land. So we love giving back to those people that have the land, but also the communities that they're in. Actually, if anyone's listening and they've got land with lots of, acres,
I might know someone.
hit us up. We're always looking for new land.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, because imagine how hard it is. We've got Arno finds the land for us. So it has to be in a beautiful location. The tiny home, we need sun to power
Yep.
it. So
Okay.
it needs to be sun. But it has to be secluded. So it is quite tough for him. And then he comes back and asks me, will this be something that people want to go to? So we are very selective. There's more no's than yeses, I would say. Many
bet.
more.
And it can't be too isolated, I'm guessing.
It's got to be accessible. So our homes are accessible by two-wheel drive. Some of them in winter, you need a four-wheel drive, but we try and limit that. And also ours, you can park your car and just walk a few meters and you're at the tiny home. Whereas our competitors, you park your car and you walk a kilometre.
Yes.
We're not like that. So especially for families and, international guests, we don't want people to walk far. You're carrying all the kids' luggage and games and stuff. Yeah, you just park your car. So we are accessible. But some of them, some are more secluded than the others. We actually have two types. We call it into the wild escapes or urban wild escapes. And urban wild, you can actually search that on our website. Urban wild is you might see a faint building, a farmhouse or something, or the ones on the wildlife sanctuary.
Yep.
There is a wildlife sanctuary behind you. So they're not as remote, I would say, but they're still secluded. Whereas some, Tiny Billy in the Blue Mountains is one of our new ones.
Yes. Well, this was my second choice, Tiny Billy.
That is pretty secluded and it sits up on a hill. And I don't know if you know Zigzag Railway.
Yes, of course I know the Zigzag Railway in Lithgow. It's a magical steam train ride. That's only reopened in the last few years.
Yeah, you can see the train go past and you can go on the train. So that's urban wild. It is
Yes.
so remote, but you can see a train once a week. Yeah. A steam train.
And if your kids love trains, which many of them do, or Harry Potter, they will love spotting the steam train because it looks just like the Hogwarts Express. Where else are you going to get that experience in Australia?
Yeah.
So, Renee, what makes these tiny homes stand out from the rest? What makes them special?
I think our tiny homes are special because of those little touches. Everything, and that's the feedback we get. Everything, every little touch is thought about, like from the beautiful picnic rugs to the books and the games that we have in there for the kids. They're not throwaway plastic games. We're always thinking about the environment. They're wooden games. There's lots of games in there that are educating about Aboriginals and the land that we're on. Everything we think about, it's not put a tiny home there. We think about every little tiny piece, what's good for the kids, what's good for the adults, how can we make this completely secluded? It's all those little touches.
Well, I bet they do not go unnoticed. Now it's time for a new segment called Kids Corner. It's where the mini travellers get to ask the questions. Some big, some small, and some a little bit quirky.
Hi, I'm Piper, and here's my question.
Oh, I love this.
Hi, Renee. I'm really excited to go to the tiny house. But will it feel too small? Will it be squishy?
And this was kind of one of my issues as well because, I live in an apartment. I mean, why would I book a tiny home for my holiday?
First of all, that is so cute. Let's go. I understand that. I live in an apartment too. You'd be surprised. They're so well designed and designed with a minimalist touch. So it's not clutter. We are not about clutter. We've got the same colors in our tiny homes. It's all natural colors. So it feels like the outside's coming inside with the big windows. Remember, you're on a big property on your own, completely secluded. So when you get into the tiny home, it is a tiny home. I'm not going to lie, but I think you'd be surprised. She'll be surprised. She'll think it's like a big cubby. It'll be fun.
Oh, yeah, that would be so cool. Okay, here's another question.
What about the toilet? Is it like the one at home? I'm asking this for my dad.
It is not scary. As I've said to you, I am a 5-star girl. Honestly, like you said, when you were younger, you were digging holes. I've never done that in my entire life. And
Yeah, well, that's why I'm traumatized.
to explain it to everybody, it's not scary. It's very hygienic. It just means that it's environmentally friendly. So when you pull up the toilet seat, it does look like a drop hole. That's what it looks like, just so everyone's aware. But it's not like those ones that you're stopping, when you're driving from Sydney to Melbourne on the side of the road, because these are premium. And so what happens is they don't smell, I can assure you. They're completely hygienic. Like, I feel like they're cleaner than a normal toilet half the time, or definitely cleaner than a public toilet. You just will be very surprised. Just to explain what you do your business. If it's number 2s, there's sawdust, and you put sawdust on it, and you spray it with enzymes.
Yeah.
That's it. And honestly, so it naturally, it just disintegrates into the land. And there is an area where they empty it as well. So, so they're taken away. So like it's nowhere near the tiny home.
Right.
So absolutely nothing to be scared of, but I really do understand that question because I was scared as well. It's natural to be scared. You expect to flush, but you don't need it. Those bathrooms are premium.
You know what? It actually sounds fun. It sounds fun to go to the toilet.
Yeah. I always find it really hard when I'm talking about the tiny homes because a lot of times you can't articulate. It's like you have to experience it to understand what I'm saying, but they're not scary.
But you know what? In all seriousness, these little things just to go about your daily life really educates kids about how we should be looking after Mother Earth, how we should be traveling green. Ecotourism is really the future.
It really is, and it will be, especially with the international audience. That they won't stay unless you're certified these days, because they are so aware of sustainability. We're behind in Australia, like we are in most things.
Are we?
Yeah. So it is the way of the future.
I saw this study the other day. It said nearly 80% of global travellers say sustainable travel is important, and over 60% are actively seeking eco-friendly accommodation. So this was an American website.
Yeah, well, it is so important. And I love that people are thinking about the environment. I mean, for years, we've just done whatever we want, and we know that we can't keep doing that. There's actually it's called Strive for Sustainability scorecard that you do, and we did it for the first time last year. We got 100% for sustainability. We are so proud of what we do. We're helping the environment as much as what we possibly could. And things like those toilets are what's doing that. So if we can educate people, that is another big thing, though, about us being sustainable. Our idea is that people go and stay in the tiny homes and do learn a little bit more about how we can help our environment and learn how to live with a minimalist approach to life. It's not about over-consuming. It's just having what you need. And we really hope that people leave that experience and take that back into their everyday world. And they realize they don't need, a new top every Saturday and things like that. It's not just about that stay. It's about going home and, understanding a little bit more about how we protect our beautiful country, our world. It's so important.
And also teaching our kids, getting that message through to the younger generation because they're the ones who will be leading the way soon.
Definitely. And they're teaching us, right? I swear, you take the kids to the tiny home and they explain to you what that's about.
Why do you think every family should experience an into the wild escape tiny house once in their life?
I think that every family should, because that feeling that you have when you're not on your phone, when you're not running from the kids' sports to school to if you're going on a holiday and you're at the kids' activities to the water park, to experience that feeling of yourself slowing down and chilling out and your children doing that as well and experiencing that connection that naturally comes from that. I can explain it till I'm blue in the face, but until you experience that yourself, you just don't know. It really is that simple. Another thing too, I was going to say it before, when I was saying I take my nieces and we do go to Bondi and shopping and blah, 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 blah. I spend so much money doing that.
Yes, I bet you do. Cool auntie.
Yeah. They get whatever they want, let's face it. Like Mecca's not cheap. And the lollies and things.
Mm-hmm.
You go to a tiny home on school holidays, it might be whatever the cost is for 2 nights. You would spend more than that running around the city doing all the activities. I don't think people realize that because they see the outlay, but once you're there, you're in nature, you're enjoying your time there. I think people just need to experience that side of life just to slow down again and, really experience the joys that brings and how relaxed everyone is. It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to feel that. I cannot wait. So if people want to find out more or want to book, where do they go?
It is intothewildescapes.com.
I think everyone should do it and I'm so excited. But first, I really want you to try my Fast 5. Are you up for it?
Yes. Love it.
I've got a bit of a Into the Wild theme Fast 5 today for you, Renee. Sunrise coffee on the deck or sunset wine by the fire?
Sunset wine.
One thing you always pack for an off-grid stay?
Comfy clothes.
First thing you do when you arrive at the tiny house?
Sit outside and just take in the silence.
What would be your dream location for a tiny house?
Ooh, I'd say the one I'm always trying to get actually is a cliff top with the ocean below.
Yes. Book me in. And finally, what snacks do you pack for an Into the Wild escape?
Me, charcuterie board ingredients.
Yum. Yum. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much, Renee. I'm counting down the days until my tiny house experience and I shall report back. Tiny Madeline, here I come. I have returned from our Into the Wild escape and it's safe to say we had the most beautiful Eco-Luxe tiny house stay. And I have an extended review coming up in a bonus episode on Thursday, but right now take a listen to some of our moments recorded in the wild. Well, here we are, Into the Wild in Laguna, in our tiny house called Tiny Madeline. And it's so peaceful. It's beautiful. You can hear the cicadas, the birds. There's a little creek. You can hear the running water. And we're about to get the fire going.
I found the swing! Mom, there's a kangaroo! There's a kangaroo!
Isn't it cute?
Yeah,
Should we start making some s'mores?
obviously.
Okay. Oh, yes, the s'mores were a hit. And I may have reinvented them by adding a little toasted strawberry and raspberry to the mix. I highly recommend it. You know what really struck me about the tiny house was how quickly we all switched off, especially my daughter Piper. She was gone, off exploring within minutes of arriving. Bike riding, climbing logs, making her own fun. No screens, no I'm bored. I did not hear that once, just space. Tiny Madeline is tucked away in Laguna, near Wollombi in the Lower Hunter Valley, and it's so easy to get to. It's like 1.5 hours from Sydney. But once you're there, it feels like a different world. For me, it was the sounds of the bush. It was so nostalgic. I haven't heard that in a while. Just stopping and listening to the rustle of the leaves and the birds in the trees, and those little moments of watching my daughter make damper over the fire and then teach us how to do it. Like she taught me how to make damper. And the stargazing. No city lights, just the Milky Way above you. It's one of those simple things that really stays with you. We also visited an animal sanctuary next door where pigs fly. It's so cute. We met everyone from Bubbles the pig to Shirley the goat. She was my favourite. I think we had a moment. And yes, we were meant to be doing slow travel, but we packed a lot in. We explored Laguna and Wollombi, and honestly, one more night would not have hurt. Now, what did I learn from the tiny house? That the composting toilet is not scary at all, and don't overpack. Don't take too much. There's no room for it. We didn't use all the activities or the books or the board games, didn't touch them. We were pretty much outside most of the time. And that's the whole point, right? To be outdoorsy. Oh, I also learned that Tiny Madeline is named after the famous book about the little French school student, the children's book. And remember, Renee is always looking for properties. So if you know of one or if you have one, make sure you get in touch. Now let's cut back to the tiny house where things are a lot more serene. I'm currently standing in the pitch black of night, staring at the stars above me, and it is magnificent. I'm right under the Milky Way. It is, wow, stellar. This is the moment where I wish this was a video podcast. Don't worry, I'll put pictures and a reel up on Instagram so you can see just what I'm talking about. And if you do have any questions, you can send me an email, snacksandsuitcasespodcast@gmail.com, or it's probably a lot easier to go to Instagram at Snacks and Suitcases Podcast. You can find me there. And a big thanks to Renee from Into the Wild Escapes, because without her, this would never have happened. Until next time, happy travels.
And don't forget the s'mores.
Oh yeah, the s'mores. And the mulled wine. But that's all.